you don't make enough to provide for us anymore, so we have to get out there in the workforce.
Right, because you voted for laws that give the jobs to you instead of to us. You know that, right? You have to know about this, right? Women have been saying for decades, they've been saying, we get 77 cents on the... Women want to get paid equal. They don't want to work equal. They just want to get paid equal. So they went to the government and they voted for the government to make things equal. And now that things are equal, women have raised their standards and they're saying, men can't provide anymore. You voted for that. You know that, right? The government takes money from men and gives it to corporations if they meet diversity quotas. So we are being forced to pay to put ourselves out of work so you can be equal. Men and women don't put the same amount of effort into the workplace, and so they get different rewards out of it, but women wanted to make it equal. When men made more, women could find men who made more, but now women are making more, and they can't find men who make more. But it's not because you're running faster than us, it's because you voted to redistribute the trophies. So my money goes to the government, and the government gives that money to corporations, and then when I apply for a job, the corporation says, you may not have that job. We need more women to satisfy our government free money requirements. So you want men to pay, but you voted to take away our ability to do that. You can only have two of these. You can have equal pay by law, men take care of you, and the eligible men are loyal. If all of you are going after a few guys, then the eligible guys are going to have access to lots of women. So if you want equal pay by law and men to pay for everything, all of you are going to be going after just this section. So if you stopped voting for money to go like that, then we would still have more money to be able to spend on you. This situation is like a dog that wants you to throw a ball, but it won't drop it. We want men to pay. Okay, let me go get a job. No, you can't have that. That's for women. We need equality. Okay, then go date the men who have more money. Where have all the good men gone? I mean, you have to know about this, right? Everyone knows this, right? Please tell me that you knew this.
Feminism has really made it impossible for women to grasp the true nature of equality because it constantly bombards women with this thought that they need to be independent and that they don't need any men in their lives.
Surprise! The number of young single men in America is at a record high. This is why. According to Pew Research data that was released this week, a staggering 63% of men in their 20s are single, which is almost double that of women.
I'm going to be single forever. I just realized that, man. I'm going to be single forever. And I'll say that, and some people are like, that's sad. It's not sad. It's reality, bruh. I'm going to be single forever.
Third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. So I've got a question for the men. So my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
High body counts, unrealistic expectations, TikTok brain, no loyalty, no moral compass. The list goes on. That's why modern women aren't getting the validation they're used to from men.
You know, I'm seeing more and more of these videos, and honestly, it makes me sad because guys have told women why. We've made it very clear why we're walking away. And we're walking away in droves, and it's only going to get worse because you're not hearing why we're walking away. It's very simple. Don't read between the lines. Hear these words. There is absolutely no benefit anymore to being in a relationship with a woman for a man. None. Zero. Zilch. Especially when you consider the risk compared to any potential reward. Roughly 55% of marriages end in divorce, and the guy loses everything. Add into it all the relationships where they weren't married and the guy lost access to his kids and had to pay mountains of child support and so on. When you really look at it, there's less than a 1 in 4 chance of having a successful relationship. Would you risk everything you have? Would you risk your children and having access to them, knowing you only had a 25% chance of success? I doubt it. Add to it the expectations that today's women have are beyond absurd. We all joke about the sixes, but the reality is that is most women's expectation. You expect men to give, and offer nothing in return. I'm not saying any of this to be mean, but I am being blunt in hopes you'll hear it, because we've said it over and over and over again. And yet, you're still asking us, why are you walking away? That, in a nutshell, is the crux of the problem. You ask us, but you don't want to hear the response. And if you hear it, you don't want to accept it. My honest advice to you ladies is this. Get a mirror, look in it, and ask yourself, what are we offering to men? Why should men want to be with us? And if your answer is things like you have a great career or job, or that you're going to cook and clean, none of that matters to us. Not in the least. What matters to us? Peace, loyalty, and acknowledgement. Something very, very few women give to their man. And until you're willing to give that, until you're willing to set aside your ridiculous expectations, those numbers you mentioned are only going to get worse.
Women, even today, expect everything to be taken care by a man, but still march the streets with banners for equality on the other. It's clear to see that modern women are incredibly confused. They fall hard into the feminism trap and don't know how to get out of it.
How is it that I look like this today, yet no man wants me to be his girlfriend?
Is this a serious question? Because women just went from saying they rather pick a bear over a man. So why the hell would men approach you? Or even look in your direction? But not only that, so many women have taught men over the years that all men are predatorial, so the good men of the world gave up. And it's so funny because women will constantly say that men don't listen, but now that men are listening, y'all are wondering where the good guys are at, why they don't approach you anymore, and why men are just simply not interested. And why the hell would they be interested? They don't know if they're going to be the next subject of all men are trash content on social media. They don't know if they're going to be accused of doing something they didn't do. They don't know if they're going to be used for dates. They don't know if they're going to be manipulated and then called a narcissist. And in this particular video, she's also asking why didn't they approach her because she looks the way that she looks. But the bottom line is most women are basic. There's nothing special to them. We all look the freaking same. So yeah, you actually have to come with more than just your looks. You actually need a personality nowadays too. Okay, bye.
Modern women don't even realise they're doing something wrong. They're so incredibly entitled that they think whatever they're doing is completely normal. Their entitlement is totally unwarranted, as one woman asked what men bring to the table. And kudos to the guy who told her exactly what men bring to the table.
So it's been brought to my attention that men no longer want to come up to women anymore. Due to sex allegations, women being just so rude and disrespectful, and rejection. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know men didn't want to come up to women anymore. I'm barely finding this out. Why do women choose to cuss guys out when they come up to them and approach them? I have no idea. I apologize for that. But there's just too many fine men. And if it takes me, the women, having to come up to you guys and shooting my shot, saying what's up, being the big stepper, then I'll just have to do that. And I'm gonna just start coming up to you guys and shooting out compliments and see where it takes me. So if I start coming up to y'all in the grocery store and I say, excuse me, sir, you are just so sexy, I want a response, okay? I don't want none of that shy stuff.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore or put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to. Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore, don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more for it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you. And when did that shift? Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you, even if you weren't interested at first. How my parents met? They met at a bar, and my dad asked for my mom to dance, and my mom was like, get out of here. She wanted nothing to do with him. If he had just left and listened to her, they would have never gone married, they would have never had kids. But he was persistent. He wanted to take her out on a date so badly. He was like, what do I have to do to take you out on a date? She was working late their first date, so he went to her work, picked her up, prepped a dinner, took her to a park, just planned the whole thing.
Because if a man persisted like that in today's dating world, he would at the very least be called a creep. And at the worst, he'd be going to jail. That is the reality that a lot of men face. So that, in combination with the fact that women are not really reciprocating effort and they're not treating men very well right now, there is a large group of men that are saying that it's just not worth it. And they would say that women have asked for it. They have asked men to leave them alone. So guess what, ladies? They're leaving you alone.
Throughout their lives, men are supposed to do everything for women and literally dedicate their lives to providing for, protecting, and helping women. And you know what? Men do that with a lot of joy, and it brings them a lot of satisfaction when they know they're being the providers. It gives them a solid purpose because they know they're doing justice to what the universe meant for them to do. They do it proudly because that's in their nature.
Hey, I am the problem. I went on a date with this guy and he was like, it's getting late. Do you want to come back to my place? And I was like, sure, but I'm not going to sleep with you. Like, that's not happening. And he was like, that's totally fine. Just come over. And I was like, cool. So I go to his place. He respects my wishes. He's so nice. He cuddles me all night. And I'm like, are you gay? Like, what? And like, I just wanted him to like try, and then for me to be like, no, you know what I mean? I wasn't gonna sleep with him, now I feel ugly. This is what...
I'm 19 years old. I've never had a boyfriend, but what I do have is a 30-page list full of qualifications and standards said person has to meet.
Alright, this girl made a video talking about her requirements to be her boyfriend. And the comments are absolutely ripping this girl apart because whatever she's asking for in this video is a little bit too much. So let's go through the video and let's see what is too much for these guys.
First of all, I have to be attracted to the person.
Hey, number one, she has to be attracted to her partner. I know, how ridiculous of this girl to want to be attracted to her partner, but I'm sure something more unreasonable is coming up throughout this video.
I used to be super picky about height, but now as long as you're taller than me, I'm cool with it. I'm 5'4", so it's not that hard. But now you just gotta have a good, strong jawline and a sweet-looking face.
Okay, so the guy needs to be above 5'5" and have a strong jawline. This is what we're complaining about, guys. I see videos on TikTok where a girl's asking for a guy who makes $1 billion and is 7'4", but this is what we're getting upset about. Okay, maybe the video is gonna get more insane as we go on. Let's see what else she asked for.
For smiles, I am pretty picky. You gotta have a good smile. I don't know, to me, it's a really big deal. And you also have to look clean. I don't know, hygiene is a huge thing for me. Must understand emotions, and I don't care if you're a little bit emotional too.
Today, being a strong and independent woman should actually mean a strong woman who holds the fort and watches over the house and kids without the need to be bossed around by some other man or woman at a corporation. A boss woman should be someone who's the boss of the house. An independent woman should be someone who's independent and manages things for the house, designing it her way, making sure everything's as she wants it.
Okay, so he needs to have a good smile, shower regularly, and, understand emotions. Is something gonna happen that I'm supposed to be upset about here?
To be best friends. I want to be your best friend and I want you to be my best friend. You have to match my obsession with the beach and...
Wow, now that one was totally uncalled for. She wants to have a friendship with her boyfriend. That's ridiculous. And he has to have a common interest of hers. Now, this girl's really getting unreasonable, guys.
To take things extremely slow, so you have to be willing to work with that. I need someone that has a very contagious laugh and that laughs a lot.
Her last two totally unreasonable requests are that he has a good laugh and that he just goes slow. If you think these standards are so high that this is an explanation for why she's been single for 19 years when, like, that's literally a completely normal age to be single for, like, what do you expect her to do? Have a relationship when she's 4 years old? 100% more a reflection of the guys, because if you cannot meet at least like 90% of that list, then I really don't know what to tell you. But I guarantee if you ask any of these guys, what would you like your girlfriend to look like? They'd all give some like absolutely ridiculous comparison of what they want their girlfriend to look like. This girl said that she wants her boyfriend to smile, take showers, and just be a happy person. And guys are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Dude, what fantasy world are you living in? To the girl in the video, don't take anything in the comment section seriously, because that was one of the most basic and normal requirements I've ever heard a girl ask for their partner on this app ever. Good for you. Wish you the best of luck.
I think there's a reason people were happier back in the day, and I think that the reason was that people used to stick to certain roles in life and not get worked up on chasing things that they weren't meant to chase. There will come a time in a decade when having a man will be considered a luxury for women.
I'd rather pay a prostitute so she leaves when we're done, rather than sit here and put a bunch of money into a chick and then taking her out for nice dinners, buying her shit, and you get the same result in the end anyway. You're still paying for pussy.
Feminism uses popular culture, such as movies, television series, documentaries, talk shows, the news, books, music, comic books, podcasts, social media, and social media influencers to perpetuate this thought that a woman who spends her prime years labouring in offices and building wealth are real women, and that they're the women every other woman should follow the example of.
Women hate men because men oppress, harass, assault, rape, and abuse women. Men have made women hate them. If you have negative experiences with men, some people will jump to the conclusion of using that to paint all men. If you get bitten by a dog, do you view all dogs as a threat? Probably not. We have to inject nuance into our conversations. And at the end of the day, I think these women are doing it in their personal lives. I do think they are looking for men. I do think they have brothers and fathers and uncles and cousins who they would characterize as being good men. So they know that there are men out there that exist, just maybe in their personal experiences, they've yet to receive that. And there's something to be said for maturing out of this mentality as well. In their probably 30s and 40s, they're going to come to realize, oh yeah, well, not all men. I hate to say not all men, but yeah, not all men are like this. It's just a simple fact. It's the truth.
So, modern women around the world must realise that life's not just about making money, generating wealth, starting businesses, and climbing the corporate ladder, because women have the leverage of not doing any of that and still live the best lives with their partners who are happy to be providers, and even happier when they have wives who give birth to beautiful children, and together they raise their families. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support, so please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.